First, the latest on the Sussex psychodrama with esteemed royal biographer. She's written the books on Prince Harry and the Queen, Angela Levin. And it's been 5 years since Harry and Meghan tied the knot in a joyous Windsor ceremony, but their marriage has been far from the fairy tale story we all imagined that day. The Perma victim pair failed to even acknowledge their wedding anniversary on Friday, and their fake New York car chase has reduced them to a global laughing stock. Fresh off the back of reports the couple are, quote, frazzled, Meghan skipped yet another glitzy awards ceremony last night, despite winning a gong, God knows how, for that awful Archetypes podcast. Must have been a fix. It came hours after the Ginger Whinger Harry embarrassingly lost a high-profile court case against the UK government over his bid to hire Met police officers for private protection, a blunder reported to have cost him a cool £500,000. But this is what's going to make you really angry. It's cost us, the British taxpayer, £200,000. And with the Duchess of Delusion's notable lack of public support for her beau, including snubbing him a kiss at the basketball, there we go, failing to attend the coronation and being absent from his book tour, not all appears well. So, Angela Levin, 5 years into this marriage, you have some information about what you think's going on here.
Yes, I just want to say that I was one of the few presenters of the wedding for CNN, and I just know how wonderful it was, how everyone was so happy for him. At last he'd found someone who he loved and who could cope with the spotlight.
That was one of the greatest days, wasn't it? It was one of the greatest days. The whole country came together, and it totally puts pay to their suggestion that the UK is some sort of racist hellhole, because actually it was the most positive day I remember in this country since the 2012 London Olympics.
Yes, and it was a very, very happy time. But it's just disintegrated very badly. Now, if we look back to that day, we discovered later that Meghan was already planning to leave before actually she got married. She had all sorts of things
Leave the UK.
Leave the UK. So I think she's a careful planner and plotter. And my feeling is this, that Harry is actually doing something that is negative, that's upsetting, that will make him feel that he hasn't succeeded, that is very lowering. And Meghan is going the other way and going around in gold and going to perhaps get a big part in a film and having a very good new agent. So she is absolutely separating from him. As you said, she hasn't been anywhere where he really needed her. He's got a mental health issue and he needs somebody there to prop him up. Anyone would, actually, but she keeps away. So he's doing all the nasty stuff and she's sailing on ahead. And I think that's the beginning of the end of it for him, because she's planning that actually if she could be planning, my feeling is that this is what she's doing, is that, you know, she was making sure that he's in a hopeless situation so that she can get the children. And so that he can't actually...
And he's completely isolated now from all of his family and his friends.
Because also he's got rooms in hotels. He's got one room permanently available for him that's quite expensive.
Yeah, what's that about?
Well, I think either she's shouting at him to get out or he can't take it and it's there. But I think if you have a row in your marriage, if you've got a garden full of places where visitors can stay, you've got 16 bathrooms, you've got 9, 10 bedrooms, you perhaps, might go into another room, but actually you're not going to go out and go somewhere else. And he's got another one in a hotel which has got a gym. And he's there. If you book it permanently, that means you're going to use it a lot. So he's not in the family house anymore. And I think that that's all what's going to happen. How he will manage, if it does happen, is quite worrying, I think. But I think we'll get a sudden bolt, like she did with her first husband, sent the engagement and wedding ring back in an envelope.
And you say that this is why King Charles is playing very softly with Harry? Because obviously William, we know, is furious, and I totally understand why. I totally support William's decision to cut Harry off after what he's done. But you say King Charles is leaving the lines of communication open because he's so worried about Harry's fragile state.
I felt this for a long time, and I think, you know, people say that he's too soft. He's not soft, but he's got a son and he's very concerned about him. And anyone around him can see that he's not happy. If you saw him even in the taxi, Meghan was smiling away as if it was a sort of photo shoot, actually. And he looked absolutely terrified. And he just looked sad and very, very unhappy. And I think that his father's very aware of this.
But he is an adult, Angela. I mean, can we have sympathy for him?
Well, I mean, I've been very annoyed with him and seen he's just changed so much, he's unrecognisable. But I think when someone is right on the bottom, I think you've got to be a little bit cautious about.
So the dream move to California has basically ended up a nightmare for Harry.
Yes, absolutely. It is a nightmare. He hasn't got friends there. He hasn't got a job there, really. He's advising people on mental health, God help them. And what he's doing is going backwards in time to do one court case after another, which he's failing and which he won't win at all of them 20 years ago.
I know, but this is where I get angry,
negative. It's so negative.
I know, but this is where I get angry, right? Because, fine, he can waste his own money, Angela, right? So he's just lost £500,000 because of this futile second case he took against the Home Office when we all knew he was going to lose. He'd already lost one. But it's the fact that it's costing us £200,000.
I thought it was 300,000, actually.
Goodness, that's even worse.
Yes. I mean, it is appalling, and we can't forgive him.
Infuriating.
But this man doesn't know what to do, where he is, how to manage it. He can't manage his wife. He can't manage the relationship because he looks, if you watch when they're together, he runs around as if he's a servant, not as if he's a husband. You know, he's got to make sure that she comes out all right and opens the door.
So you don't think it's a balanced relationship?
I don't think it's ever been a balanced relationship. I think from the first day they went on an engagement, which I went with them, I think that you could see... Nottingham, that's right. Took me on that one first. He obviously liked it very much. And
but you had fears even then about Meghan?
I felt, yes. Well, she kept pushing him out the way and wanted to shake hands with him on first. And at that stage, they weren't married even, and nobody really wanted to talk to her. They wanted to talk to
Angela would say that just makes her a really modern woman, and Harry, as this sensitive new age guy, wants to support his wife.
It's not good manners. And actually, if you come into a different country, into a royal home, it's nothing like what you have in America. So you watch. If you went to a job, you wouldn't say, I've got to be number one and I'm not listening to anyone. What you do is that you sit quietly for a bit and you gradually see, and then you make suggestions. Her ideas that she could have put through would have been very happily accepted, but she can't wait. She's got to be out there in the front. And so you don't do that. It's not the way you do it. So you wait, and she didn't wait, you see. And you don't push somebody out the way so you can get there first because you're more important.
The problem for Harry is that these court cases, which he thinks is like this life's mission to bring down the British press, which, by the way, in the US does not go down well because of the First Amendment. They believe of freedom in the press in America. But this case, I've been following it a little bit, the case against the Mirror Group newspapers. This is not looking good for him. You know, the whole case seems to be collapsing, and he's got to go and give evidence next month. This could make him a laughingstock yet again.
But it's so naive to think that he, when he doesn't live in the country, can try and change the way that the whole press operates. It's not going to happen, is it? You have to swallow a lot of it and take no notice, or you live a life where you're quiet, you're away from this. To go to Hollywood and be where all the press are and are allowed to be is a nonsense. If you want quiet and you don't want to be in the press, He told me he wanted to go to Africa and look after animals that were risking being, no law. You do that sort of thing in life, but Meghan won't ever have anything to do with that.
They always talk about all of these good things they want to do. Oh, we were going to go to New Zealand, we were going to go to Canada, we were going to go to Africa, but at the end of the day, it's all talk. I'm sorry, Angela, because when push came to shove, it's all about this, it's all about the greenback, it's all about
It's all about money.
And money don't make you happy.
Never makes you happy, but I don't think anything will make Meghan happy, because she will always want more. She'll always look around, she'll see other women who've got a bigger diamond or a more expensive dress or more bathrooms than 16, and that's what she wants.